I find that the human species is not just a biological creature, it's also a metaphysical creature. It's a belief creature. It's a creature that gives up its own essence with beliefs. And so we've given up our essence with the belief that there's something called value and worth and differentiation. That differentiation is pinpointed through the amount of money you have, the amount of income that you're able to receive. So some people receive income because they have a lot of passion. So they offer a certain value to the world. They offer passion. But a lot of times what happens is they get lucky, but they attribute it to themselves. But still, there's a feedback system in the world where because you already have fame and fortune, people assume that you got it for a reason. So there is an ego or a continuity that is encouraged, right? Ego is basically continuity. Otherwise, everything would be different than it was a moment previously. An ego basically sustains whatever you believe is there. So energy is actually from the ego, or a belief system among a population of minds that say you should be considered as one who has value, and there should be a belief system around it. So when in the older days, people didn't really get tired because they were fighting for their survival. So the energy came from the ego saying you're going to die. So it started activating adrenaline and different chemicals that stimulated the body. Nowadays, most of the energy is derived from money because we have our basic survival needs. So the survival needs have evolved to be like something else. So if someone has a lot of energy, chances are they have a lot of money. Now, once we evolve out of this, whether it's 15 years, whether it's 20 years, 30 years, instead of money, I don't think it's going to be likes on Facebook. I don't think it's going to be attention, stuff like that, although that is important for what I'm about to say. I think it's going to be this intuitive feeling that someone has wisdom, someone has what to teach. And there'll be a recognition that they got to where they got because of manipulation of a system. And there'll be so much hatred or bad taste for that system that they'll just choose people that they feel is sincere, that's not doing it for ulterior motives. So that may change the power dynamics on Earth, where those who don't chase after money are the ones who are focused on in 15, 20 years. But at the same time, you got the old paradigm of money meaning value that's going to transfer to attention. Now, attention doesn't mean you'll have energy, but what it does mean is it's a feedback system in your own mind connected to other minds that solidify this notion to yourself and even others that you're important, that you're valuable, that you should sustain whatever you have here in this camera, in this face, in this ego structure, whatever you're doing. And that is what gives you life force. That is what gives you energy. So you hear in spiritual communities that really life force comes from some unseen force. It's God. Right, but where does God come from? So God is actually helping you appear like a good guy to other people. And it's that appearance that makes people want to interact with you. It makes people like you. It's a collective ego. So it's God maneuvering the ego to make you be perceived as someone who's worth listening to, someone who's worth getting up in the morning to listen to, and that will feedback a system where you feel confident. Oh, I should get up in the morning to help people, you know? So a lot of teachers, they don't really, they think that they have the answers, but they don't have the answers. It's ridiculous. It's not just Stage Orange and spiral dynamics. It's the system of Stage Orange that's keeping people unevolved. It's like the only way to be evolved is to kind of be lost. Is to kind of not have money. It's to kind of be separated from society. And this is what Jesus meant when he said, a rich person can't enter the kingdom of heaven because he's always chasing after something else. And nowadays, the happy rich people, the ones who are into motivation and success, are just healthy stage orange who utilize doing the next action as their form of happiness, getting the next dollar as their form of happiness. So they're not even past stage orange, but they promote this thing like, oh, I'm evolved. But they don't realize that the system itself is keeping them very low down on the spiral. Now, to sum up, because I know people like direct information, nowadays our energy comes from money. But really, energy comes from a communal system that implies that you're going to be valuable to other people. Other people look at you more likely, in a more likely sense. Meaning there's a higher chance that because they come across you, you're going to be perceived as good and valuable. So that's the reason why money works, because people are obsessed with it. Once people are not obsessed with it, money will go down the drain. And those who are addicted to this way of doing things, of making money to receive their value, they will have to rewrite their marketing strategy, but they'll always appear inauthentic because they're addicted to money. And those, in the next 15, 20 years, those who are sincere, that will be the value system. Those who are truly sincere, those will be the people that get focused on and they'll finally have an income.